Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 486 based on novel. So let's start. Wang Lin's hand that was holding the wine paused due to Zhu Wutai's words. That extremely prideful soul appeared before his eyes. That red soul filled with pride and loneliness had shined brightly on planet Suzaku. Red Butterfly's life was very short, but the brightness of her existence was something even someone like Wang Lin found hard to forget. That woman that would rather die than submit. That extremely cold woman who had made all the juniors of planet Suzaku bow and not dare to raise their heads. Red Butterfly, just like her name, was a butterfly formed by the most bright red light in the heavens. This butterfly was very beautiful and was remembered by countless people. Wang Lin recalled the past as he slowly put down the wine and looked at Zhu Wutai. Zhu Wutai raised his head to look at Wang Lin and slowly said, "Red Butterfly belonged to the country of Shuiyu. The country of Shuiyu disappeared over the ages, which was related to your seal. The cultivators of the country of Shuiyu that remain are now scattered between the 9 main sects. However, after the country of Shuiyu disbanded, I found an empty area there." Zhu Wutai's expression became serious and he took a sip of wine. "Do you still remember Red Butterfly's teacher? Her teacher once divined that Red Butterfly would face a life and death calamity. If she could survive it, her 5-element body would be completed." Wang Lin nodded. Zhu Wutai calmly said, "The place I found was sealed by Red Butterfly's teacher before her death. Red Butterfly's teacher's cultivation level was not high, so one thing confused me. How did she place such a complex formation? In this formation, there is a strand of Red Butterfly's hair. What formation?" Wang Lin felt that this was a bit strange and his eyes narrowed. "I don't know much about formations, so I couldn't see through much. I know about the relationship between you and Red Butterfly, so I preserved the formation. Now that you're here, you will know when you see it." Zhu Wutai got up and looked at Wang Lin. Wang Lin looked at parents' grave. His purpose for returning was to pay his respects to his parents. He took a deep breath and didn't awaken the sleeping madman. He stepped toward the sky along with Zhu Wutai. In the northern part of planet Suzaku stood a mountain range. At the heart of the mountain range, there was a large Suzaku statue. It was something from the past, and it was Zhu Wutai's cave. The sky became twisted when Wang Lin and Zhu Wutai appeared. Zhu Wutai led the two into the large Suzaku statue. There was a large mansion inside. In one of the stone rooms, Wang Lin saw the mysterious formation Zhu Wutai had moved here. This formation was about 100 feet wide and occupied the entire room. This caused the room to be covered in ice. There was a strand of hair frozen at the center of the formation. The formation seemed to have been inactive for many years and showed no signs of operating. "This is the formation." Zhu Wutai looked at the formation and his face revealed the bewilderment he had in the past. "I don't believe Red Butterfly's teacher could have placed this formation with her cultivation level." Wang Lin stepped into the formation and lowered his head. He began to carefully examine it. It was very complex and contained a lot of restrictions. It was as Zhu Wutai had said, it was not something a first-step cultivator could place. Zhu Wutai slowly said, "If not for the fact that the formation had already stopped when I found it, I would have been injured by it." Wang Lin squatted down and placed his right hand on the ice. The ice twinkled and thunderous rumbles echoed, causing the formation to show signs of activating. Deduction light appeared in Wang Lin's eyes, and a moment later, he released his right hand. After he removed his right hand from the ice, the formation stopped. Wang Lin pondered a bit and then calmly said, "This is a soul-splitting transfer array. This must have been placed by a cultivator at the peak of the Nirvana cleanser stage or higher. It is not something Red Butterfly's teacher could place, or she was hiding her cultivation level. However, if she was hiding her cultivation level, what happened to Red Butterfly later can't be explained." Wang Lin's eyes lit up and he analyzed. The role of this array is to separate a portion of the soul using his strand of hair and then transfer it away. I don't know where it will be transferred to. This strand of hair does contain Red Butterfly's aura. Maybe Red Butterfly really isn't dead. This matter surprised him. He didn't expect to find such a secret on planet Suzaku. Back then, Red Butterfly's teacher divined that Red Butterfly would face a life and death crisis. She likely knew that this crisis was difficult to avoid and somehow found this formation. She placed this formation here before Red Butterfly faced her calamity. She took a part of her soul and sent it away. She wanted to use this method to give Red Butterfly a chance of survival. As a result, even though Red Butterfly died, with this portion of soul, she can be reborn and avoid that calamity. Wang Lin got up and looked at Ju Wutai. Ju Wutai began to ponder. After thinking for a long time, he said, "After I found the formation, I searched the records of the previous lords of planet Suzaku. I found a secret: the cultivators of the country of Shuiyu were foreign cultivators, just like the giant demon clan." Wang Lin silently pondered and left the room. He stood on top of the Suzaku statue. His gaze seemed to penetrate the world and enter the vastness of space. No matter what the truth is, Red Butterfly being alive is a happy thing. Perhaps, at this moment, she is somewhere else, looking at planet Suzaku. However, I wonder if she still has memories of this place, if she remembers the past. Wang Lin's voice was light as it entered Ju Wutai's ears. I'm also happy that she is not dead. There are not many friends left. I hope I can meet her again in my lifetime. Ju Wutai smiled before letting out a sigh and nodding. The hatred of the past had long dissipated in the passage of time. Perhaps I have seen her. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed as he recalled the past 2,000 years, but he couldn't find an answer. Forget it. If she wants us to know, we will meet her one day. If she doesn't want to, then we can just think that she is dead. Ju Wutai seemed a bit depressed. He looked at Wang Lin as if he wanted to say something, but in the end he didn't. Brother Ju, I'm leaving. Wang Lin turned toward Ju Wutai and clasped his hands. Ju Wutai's expression became complicated, and after hesitating a bit, he clasped his hands and asked, "You? Have you seen Liu Mai over the years?" Wang Lin looked at Ju Wutai, and after a moment, he slowly said, "I have seen her. She is dead." Ju Wutai's face became pale as he bitterly shook his head and no longer said anything. Wang Lin left. His figure disappeared from the Suzaku statue. Ju Wutai silently stood on the statue, looking at where Wang Lin disappeared to. He looked even more dispirited. Liu Mai died. Ju Wutai sat down and let out a sigh. He picked up a wine jug and began to drink. There had always been a figure in his heart over the past 2,000 years, and it had never disappeared. He drank until the sky was dark. Ju Wutai looked at the sky and began to laugh. His laughter was filled with sadness. No one knew that back then, he had always admired Liu Mai. Even Wang Lin had only noticed this from Ju Wutai's expression just now, but what could he even say? Wang Lin showed his filial piety by staying before his parents' grave for 7 days. During these 7 days, he didn't leave. He just sat before the grave, drinking wine. During these 7 days, Wang Lin's heart slowly calmed down. He was like an old man who had stopped thinking. He stopped thinking about the rejection force in his body and was immersed in the warmth of the sorrow of accompanying his parents. He silently watched the days go by. The madman had woken up a long time ago. He stretched his body and began to chatter non-stop in Wang Lin's ears. After he took Wang Lin's wine jug and downed a few drinks, he became even more talkative. After drinking a lot of wine, he seemed to be drunk and began to sing. This caused the sadness around this old house to dissipate a bit. On the 8th day, Wang Lin kowtowed before his parents' grave and took a deep breath of the air in his hometown. He looked at parents' grave before turning around and leaving. With this step, he turned from a mortal that had returned to his hometown back into a cultivator. A ruthless cultivator. With this, Wang Lin returned to the bloody cultivation world from the mortal world. What he would face now would not be the warmth of his parents but the treacherous and dangerous cultivation path. This was a path of no return. Once you stepped on this world, you would have to continue. You couldn't stop, and even if you looked back, it would only be for a brief moment. There is one last place I need to go on planet Suzaku. Wang Lin flew in the sky with the madman and his gaze looked into the distance. That was where the deep hole of the Tattoo clan was located. That was the place where the old vermilion bird divine emperor wanted to go into. The secret that was inside the 19th layer had troubled Wang Lin for a long time. In a flash, Wang Lin brought the still chattering madman and they flew toward that giant hole in the Tattoo clan. The whole of the Tattoo clan hadn't changed much after the reconstruction of planet Suzaku. Over the years, it had become the most mysterious place on planet Suzaku. Cultivators would often go explore inside. During the recent few decades, as foreign cultivators came to planet Suzaku, there were many that went into this deep hole but in the end found nothing. No one could get to the deepest layer. Wang Lin and the madman instantly appeared outside the hole. He looked at the hole and was about to enter. However, the madman behind him was unwilling and began to roar at Wang Lin. Not going, this king will not go. This king will wait for you here, ha ha, go on you own. Once you come out, find this king. The madman's eyes turned and he retreated, shaking his head. Wang Lin looked at the madman with gaze like lightning. The madman blinked and his voice lowered a lot, but he still vigorously shook his head. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze. He knew the madman's thoughts. The madman only wanted to play around planet Suzaku. Wang Lin didn't want to force him and only nodded. He no longer paid attention to the madman and entered the deep hole. When the madman saw Wang Lin leave, excitement filled his face. He ran off into the distance while murmuring. Those three little girls didn't want to tell this king their names. Their expressions were really strange before. Ha ha, if this king finds them again, they will definitely tell me their names. The madman looked extremely proud as he disappeared over the horizon. Wang Lin had come to the Tattoo clan's land many times in the past, so he was extremely familiar with it. He remembered the entrance to each layer and he quickly flew through each layer. Along the way, he didn't stop at all. He often appeared in a layer and would then disappear and reappear at the entrance to the next layer. Soon, he arrived in the 16th layer. There were 13 coffins with flashing tattoos on the 16th layer. These 13 coffins were placed in a circle with a black pool in the middle. They gave off a chilling aura that spread across this area. The coffins were still as Wang Lin had seen them before, they gave off a chilling aura. The corpses lying inside were the ancestors of the Tattoo clan. The entrance to the 17th layer was inside the black pool. Wang Lin looked at the pool and spotted a seal. This seal could only be broken by corporeal young or higher cultivators. Back then, Wang Lin couldn't enter himself, so he had relied on Big Head's strength. Now, Wang Lin calmly stepped forward. When he got close to the pool couldn't withstand the pressure from Wang Lin's body. The pool collapsed, revealing a giant vortex. The vortex pulled the black water and revealed the entrance to the next layer. Wang Lin stepped in and disappeared. When he appeared, he was in the 17th layer. Back then, countless chains filled this place. Many celestial corpses were sealed here to be guards. Everything that had happened was still fresh in Wang Lin's memory. He had begun a vicious battle here, causing the 17th layer to collapse. He looked over and saw that the 17th layer was in ruins. Only the giant vortex at the center was still there. This vortex was entrance to the 18th layer that had appeared after the 17th layer collapsed. Looking at the entrance, Wang Lin let out a sigh. He spent a lot of effort back then to get here, but now it all seemed so easy. Back then, he still remembered the old vermilion bird divine emperor's avatar appearing to stop him from entering the 18th layer. Then the old vermilion bird divine emperor's avatar changed his mind and allowed Wang Lin to enter to comprehend under his protection. Wang Lin shook his head and calmly walked into the vortex. Howling sounds echoed across his ears, but they couldn't mess with his mind at all. After the howling disappeared, Wang Lin appeared in the deepest part he had been to before, the 18th layer. This was a room that was 1,000 feet wide. The surroundings were black, only a faint fire emitted a small amount of light at the center. This light fused with the darkness, making this place look extremely dim. As the fire flickered, there seemed to be myriads of ghosts floating around, and there were sounds of ghostly howls. Some ghosts seemed to want to punch at the fire. However, fluctuations came from the fire and destroyed them all. It was here that Wang Lin had absorbed a strange of essence with the help of the old vermilion bird divine emperor. Just that silver of essence had almost caused him to explode. He looked at the fire with deep fear in his eyes. After pondering for a bit, Wang Lin approached the fire. As he closed in, the countless ghosts in the dim room retreated. Their mournful screams echoed within the room. It seemed Wang Lin's arrival had scared these ghosts greatly. They all retreated to the corner while trembling, not daring to get close. Looking at the fire, Wang Lin found that the essence inside it was far too small and chaotic. It was as if someone had created it by force, and it held no attraction to him. The last layer. What is exactly hidden there? Yun Kezi said there is a portion of his tattoo clan ancestor's soul in the 19th layer. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. However, the tattoo clan's ancestor is the sovereign's daughter, and she was sealed by Qingling in the demon spirit land. There is no way her soul is here. Wang Lin raised his right hand and grabbed the fire. The essence inside the fire erupted and seemed like it wanted to resist, but its power was simply insignificant to Wang Lin now. Wang Lin mercilessly squeezed and the fire collapsed with a bang. The fire seemed to diffuse across the room, and all those ghosts hiding in the corners seemed to dissipate. A circular door slowly appeared where the fire collapsed. This door gave off an ancient aura. It was being sealed by a large amount of tattoos. There was a large amount of tattoos on the door, and they hadn't been placed at the same time. Instead, it seemed like people had come to place tattoos on it over the countless years, and as time passed, this was the result. Although it was chaotic, these tattoos fused together to create a powerful sealing force. While the seal prevented outsiders from going in, it also sealed whatever was inside the door, preventing it from coming out. No one knew if these seals had been placed to prevent people from going in or to trap the things inside. As Wang Lin looked at those tattoos, his expression became serious. He now knew why the old vermilion bird divine emperor still wasn't able to enter the 19th layer. Because the power of this seal had reached a peak, it was comparable to the full force of a fifth heaven's blight cultivator. Even a fifth heaven's blight cultivator would find this door difficult to open unless they reached the third step. Planet Suzaku has such an amazing seal. Wang Lin looked at the tattoo for a long time before raising his right hand. There was a flash of light as he touched the door. Cracking sounds echoed as the countless runes collapsed and his hand swept across the door. In a flash, the countless seals on the door shattered, leaving only one. Only the Wang Lin of today could do this. If it was the past, this seal could stop tens of thousands of cultivators. The last tattoo on the door was very simple, and it was formed by one stroke. It was just an ordinary circle, but from Wang Lin's view, this last tattoo contained a strange force. This force was also a seal, but it sealed aura. It was sealing the aura of the door, so no matter what was inside, none of the aura would leak out. Under Wang Lin's gaze, he vaguely saw a glimmer of gold in the circle. An extremely well-hidden celestial energy. This tattoo is not something the tattoo clan can possess. As Wang Lin stared at the last tattoo, he took a deep breath and his pupils shrank. This tattoo gave off no aura, but Wang Lin could clearly feel the pressure inside with his divine sense. This is the pressure of the celestial bloodline. When Wang Lin felt this aura, he retreated a few steps. His eyes lit up and he raised his right hand that was shining gold. The celestial energy in his body gathered in his finger and he pointed at the last tattoo. That circle tattoo flashed and the golden light flashed. Another aura Wang Lin was extremely familiar with appeared. Just as his finger was about to land, his expression changed greatly. His right hand stopped and his eyes were filled with disbelief as he stared at the circle. There is ancient aura here. The aura he was familiar was ancient aura, it was the aura of ancient Yi Mo. The moment he felt this aura, his body trembled and a shocking guess appeared in his mind. The left eye was shot out by the Li Guangbo and disappeared into space. There is ancient aura here. Could it be that the 19th layer is where Yi Mo's left eye is sealed? Wang Lin's heart began to pound. That should be right, this place contains both the power of the celestial bloodline and the ancient aura. Aside from the left eye that was taken by the arrow, there is nothing else. That left eye originally didn't have the power of the celestial bloodline, but the Li Kuang bow that injured it did. As a result, the two fused. This fusion is like my body and there is a rejection force. I don't know what the Tattoo clan did to turn that rejection force into a seal, but thanks to this seal, no one else in the world has found out that ancient Yimo's left eye is actually here. Wang Lin's heart was pounding. He was shaken by his bold guess. He stared at the last tattoo sealing the door and let out a deep breath. The tattoo seal contained the celestial bloodline and ancient aura, creating the rejection force. However, this circular tattoo not only made it so the rejection force didn't break the door, it was also sealing the door. The ingenuity of this tattoo shocked Wang Lin. This tattoo opened a door for him, another path for him to take to get rid of the rejection force inside him. This tattoo seal fuses celestial and ancient energy. Too few people in the world can open it. Only someone like me can. Wang Lin's eyes were filled with deduction, but after a long time, he couldn't help but sigh. He felt a sense of complication and absurdity. He felt that it was like a reincarnation cycle that layered upon of itself. If he didn't leave planet Suzaku, he would have never gone to the demon spirit land. Then he would have never used the rift there to enter All Heaven. If he hadn't gone to All Heaven, he couldn't have entered the Nether Beast. If he hadn't known about the Nether Beast, he wouldn't have had the idea of making it his life essence beast. With that, he wouldn't have been devoured by the Nether Beast in the first battle at the Cloud Sea. Then he would have never met the madman, let alone get the celestial bloodline. He naturally also wouldn't have had to deal with the rejection force. Now that he had returned to planet Suzaku, he had arrived back at the place where he had taken his first step. He had returned to the point of origin. However, at the point of origin, he found that if one thing went wrong, he could never open the 19th layer. He was the only one in the world who could open this seal. This kind of thing made Wang Lin feel emotional and confused. After a long time, Wang Lin gently shook his head and no longer thought about such absurd things. His eyes shined and he slowly raised his right hand. He didn't use any celestial energy or ancient energy. Instead, he controlled the rejection force to spread out from his index finger. An instant later, Wang Lin felt pain in his body. It was like a soft sword that moved around like a twisted thorn. It went through his right arm, shredding his flesh and blood. Even his bones trembled as the rejection force gathered in his index finger. Wang Lin's index finger trembled and a large amount of sweat appeared on his forehead. It took him a moment to regain his breath, and he used his great fortitude to stop his index finger from trembling under his intense pain. Wang Lin's right index finger slowly stretched out and landed on the circle tattoo. At this moment, the rejection force inside Wang Lin roared inside his body and erupted as if it had found its companion. Wang Lin's face immediately turned pale, but his right index finger didn't tremble. His gaze was focused on the tip of his finger and he was ignoring the rejection force inside his body. He slowly manipulated his index finger to sketch the circle tattoo. He was going to completely sketch it once. By doing this, he could open the tattoo. Every time he moved, the rejection force inside his body erupted. He could feel the rejection force continue to rush out from the tattoo and enter his finger. The intense pain caused him to sweat a lot in just a few breaths. Blood flowed down from the corner of his mouth. His internal organs felt like they were churning and about to collapse. The tearing between his celestial body and flesh was like pulling someone's soul out of their body. This kind of pain was difficult to describe unless you have experienced it yourself. Time slowly passed, and in a flash, 7 minutes went by. This room was filled with Wang Lin's rough breathing. His eyes became bloodshot and the veins in his right hand swelled up greatly, resulting in a shocking sight. Not only his right hand, but the veins on his face were also swollen. They were wiggling as if the rejection force wanted to erupt from his body. Wang Lin clenched his teeth and stared at his finger. He slowly moved and continued to sketch. The rejection force rumbled violently inside him. The popping sounds from his body overshadowed his breathing. The thunderous rumbles echoed across the room. A bit more, Wang Lin's right hand was almost numb. The difficulty of absorbing the rejection force was like fighting a vicious battle against a third-step cultivator. It was even tougher than that. This tattoo could only be opened with this method. If one only had celestial energy, they couldn't open it. If one only had ancient energy, they also couldn't open it. If one had either, they could destroy and refine the entire place and it wouldn't harm the tattoo one bit. Time passed. Wang Lin used almost 15 minutes to draw this last small portion. When he finished drawing and his numb finger returned to the starting position, a powerful rejection force erupted from the tattoo and entered his right hand. There was a loud bang and Wang Lin was forced back. Light came from his body and the light and shadow shield activated, but it only lasted a few breaths before collapsing. Wang Lin coughed out a mouthful of blood. The moment the light and shadow shield collapsed, the Emperor Furnace appeared. With a bang, the Emperor Furnace became distorted. It was knocked back into Wang Lin's star. Thanks to the light and shadow shield and the Emperor Furnace, the power from the tattoo had weakened greatly. It landed on his body and blood flowed from his mouth once more. His body was knocked back several hundred feet into the wall. Cracking sounds echoed and the wall behind Wang Lin began to crack. The circular tattoo gave off a powerful light that lit up the entire room. As the bright light shined, the stone door rumbled. It slowly opened, revealing the passage inside. As the stone door opened, an ancient aura came out, surrounding the area. Wang Lin wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. He raised his head and immediately saw the entrance to the other world. This was the greatest secret of the tattoo clan. This place was the 19th layer. When the stone door was opened, that ancient aura was mixed in. Wang Lin clearly felt this, and without hesitation, he hit the side of the wall. Thunderous rumble echoed. Borrowing this force, Wang Lin flew out toward the open stone door. In an instant, he entered the 19th layer of the tattoo clan that no one else had entered after it was sealed countless years ago. The moment he entered, the stone door slowly closed. Wang Lin didn't turn around. His mind trembled from what he saw before him. The place he was in wasn't the real 19th layer but a strange passage. The 19th layer was at the end of the passage. This passage was formed by increasingly large circles, and they spread out as you walked forward. This wasn't enough to shock Wang Lin, but each of these rings was the same as the tattoo on the stone door. They were formed after celestial and ancient energy were fused together. It was because of their existence and them being connected to the stone door that the circular tattoo had appeared. How was this place formed? Wang Lin looked ahead. Even though he had gone to many places and seen many strange worlds, he was still shocked. The larger the circle in the tunnel, the greater the rejection force. There was also a sharp spiritual energy here. The deeper Wang Lin went, the more he felt like he was being locked onto by a sharp sword. The area outside the circles was completely dark, and not even divine sense could spread out. However, Wang Lin's pupils shrank as he looked over and vaguely noticed something. There is dirt outside the rings that make up this tunnel. Wang Lin's mind was in disarray. He was deep within planet Suzaku, so it was natural to see dirt. However, when he entered the door, he felt like he had entered another world. When he saw dirt, he had an indescribable feeling. After silently pondering for a moment, Wang Lin's eyes lit up. Since he had come here, he had to see what this place was like. Wang Lin charged through the passage toward the end. The circles before Wang Lin gradually became larger and larger until they were thousands of feet wide. The ancient and celestial energies became even stronger along with the sharp spiritual energy. The surroundings were cold, but there were no sign of ice. After an unknown amount of time, Wang Lin saw the last circle. He arrived at the end of the passage. The circle was tens of thousands of feet wide. Standing here, Wang Lin looked back and couldn't see the stone door. All he could see were the circles that were getting smaller and smaller. While pondering, Wang Lin turned around and stepped toward the last circle. He turned and stepped into the center of the circle with a boom. Then he saw it. This video will end here.